Like the first time I see myself, apparently it's on camera. Like, oh, my hair's poofy today. Let's fix it. All right, how much time do we have? Not a lot. Let's find out what we're gonna talk about. We're kind of figure this out as we go. Auburn Cruise Night. Rummage sale. First congregational church. Feats of clay. Oh, it's interesting. Okay, that's just a logo. Great. Feats of Clay returns this year's exhibit as regional and will be exhibited at a replica beehive kiln. All right. I wish there was more information there. I would announce it. Federal prosecutors in Hunter Biden's gun trial have spent hours showing jurors evidence of his drug problem, seeking to reveal through his own words and writing the depth of his addiction in order to show it was still on him. On a firearm, they say, right on a form to purchase it. Testimony is expected to continue today. Hunter Biden's ex-wife, Kathleen Buell, is expected to be among the witnesses. She was married to President Joe Biden's son for roughly 20 years. They have 3 children, divorcing in 2016 after his infidelity and drug abuse. Game night. To overcome, that's according to her memoir entitled Farmers Marketplace. June 21st. Okay. Grab the coffee. Let's go. Hi, Dr. Mitch. Caden Pinnock. This is why so many people are joining Del Oro football, basketball, baseball. There weren't many athletes that put together a better work than Pinnock in his senior year at Del Oro. These athletes excelled in multiple sports. Highlighting Caden Pinnock, Del Oro. There weren't many athletes that put together a better body of work than Pinnock in his senior year at Del Oro. Pinnock was named the offensive player of the year in the Sierra Foothill League in football and the co-MVP in basketball. He helped lead the Golden Eagles to the San Joaquin section. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get 10 seconds, Adam. Perfect time to make the switch. Start saving. Find some weather here. Share 40. That's 855 SHARE 40. 855 share 40. And good Wednesday morning to you. Wednesday, June 5th, 14 minutes past the top of the 6:14 a.m. And good morning to you. Colfax, currently 66 degrees where you're at right now. Woof, get ready for it today. It's going to be a high of 95 degrees. All right, let's turn it over now, as we do, to the Fox Business Report.
Expectations for its first quarter, including into whether it should sell or spin off its family dollar business. Also, Dollar Tree says a tornado destroyed one of its distribution
Okay, let's see.
Oklahoma on May 4th.
Colorado Hills Chamber of Commerce. Anything going on over here?
Deere and Company plans to reduce its production and salaried workforce. It didn't reveal how many jobs will be cut. The farm and construction machinery company says reducing overlap and redundancy. And software giant SAP is buying
what's going on there?
The parent company of travel and expense management service Concur is an all-cash deal valued at about $1.5 billion. Dr. Fox Business Report. I'm Jennifer Zola, invested in you.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially for approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start smoking. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Association's Law Enforcement Initiative, FDA.
At McCullough's department store, parking is very close to the front door, and you don't need a membership card to get inside the building. McCullough, Auburn's department store, has everything you need now for the warmer weather: shorts, t-shirts, Levi's, those hand-free slip-on sneakers, and much more, all on sale. So save money, time, and gas by shopping at McCullough in the Auburn Town Center right off the valley.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:16 a.m. Let's talk about an event for the calendar. Another game night is coming up here. This is going to be June 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. That's going to be at the Farmers Marketplace. Have you heard of this place? Well, if you haven't, it's at 195 Elm Avenue here in Auburn. Game night. They've been hosting a few of these. Probably get into a pretty good stride there. If you're looking for something to do, maybe a date night, maybe a place to take the kids, the grandkids. Check it out. You can RSVP online at their website. It's thefarmersmarketplace.com, thefarmersmarketplace.com. You can call 916-390-7628. Now, the event is free. Looking for something free to do? Yeah, you can just show up. Again, it's going to be June 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. Now, you can purchase snacks and beverages there at the shop there. But you can bring your own games, or there might be some games provided as well. Board games, card games, and a good time. Create memories with families and friends. Again, game night at the Farmers Marketplace. RSVP online at thefarmersmarketplace.com, or you can call 916-390-7628. Back with more right after this.
What better way to put money back in your pocket?
Hey everybody, we're a radio DJ here. Blah 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 blah. Let's go to the Farmers Marketplace. I didn't see what date that was. That was a Friday night.
Give us a crack and hit a home run with Homer Insurance. Call 916-339-7777 right now and find out how much you can get. That's 916-339-7777.
Is there policy in the DNA? And if there is, how can you use it? Our insurance on daily week answers from top of Friday morning at 7 a.m. and Sunday night at 11 p.m. and 24/7 at KAHI.com. Just click on this and audio on demand. You can even download the show too. And we'll explore history from money, business, and we'll artificial intelligence people who are alive and keep us going with a healthier life. So top talk really does go into a truth.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:18 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, sports ball. Hey, we'll take a look locally. These athletes excelled in multiple sports from the Auburn Journal. Seeing some of these multiple sports that these folks did, it's impressive. It's just probably born with sports talent. Also, your national scores as well. And coming up next hour, an encore presentation of the Tuesday trainer tip from Brad over at CAC Fit. In case you missed it yesterday, during the 8 o'clock hour, I'll play it during the 7 o'clock hour at about this time. Off now to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. Okay. If I promote that, I should probably write it down that I'm going to do it. 7:14. 14 Tuesday trainer tip.
He won't be intimidated. Garland called out the political conspiracy theory that the Department of Justice is behind every single one of Donald Trump's.
Guess I don't really have a whole heck of a lot of stuff lined up for today. Okay. Sports.
Committee and the Oversight Committee are seeking contempt as a means of obtaining for no legitimate purpose sensitive law enforcement information.
WNBA and for the WNBA for the Commissioner's Cup, the Mercury versus the Storm. Storm on top there, 80.
Attacks on the Justice Department's work.
Sky versus Liberty. Sky versus Liberty. Liberty on top there, 88-75. Mystics over the Sun. Some cool. Sun win that one. Sun outshine the Mystics. Sun outshine the Mystics, 76-59. Liberty run free. Liberty run free, win that one. Liberty run free, win that one. Storm bring the thunder. Storm versus the Mercury. Storm versus the Mercury. The Mercury didn't rise. Storm did. The Mercury didn't rise. The Storm did, however, and they win that one 80 to
influence on
All right, there you go.
I will not be intimidated, and the Justice Department will not be intimidated.
Republicans used the House Judiciary Committee hearing to push the claim that Biden has weaponized the department to go after Trump, even as the Democratic President Hunter stands trial on federal firearms charges in Delaware. Garland threw cold water on Trump's line that the Biden administration tried to kill him. Residents forced to live documents.
What's that Kenny G? Well, that's classic Kenny G 90s. That's classic Kenny G 90s. My gosh. That's it. That's the one. That's the one right there. That's baby making music. Thank God my mic was muted. Whoops.
Want the public to hear it before the election.
Okay.
Transcript of his interview has been made public.
Dash cam
Student
video.
editors of the Columbia Law Review say they were pressured by the journal's board of directors to stop publication of an academic article written by a Palestinian human rights attorney that accuses Israel of committing genocide in Gaza and upholding an apartheid regime. And the editors
Okay. What do we got coming up next?
made up of faculty and alumni
Sports
from Columbia
ball.
University's law school
Oh, yeah.
shut down the law review.
What the heck is going on? Caden Pinnock, Del Oro, football, basketball. Oh, also. Who played yesterday? Dodgers versus the Pirates. Pirates win. 1-0. San Diego Padres versus the Angels. An all Southern California game there. Angels fly away with that one, 4-2. A's versus the Mariners. Mariners sail away. Mariners sail away with that one, 4-3. Giants versus the D-backs. D-backs on top there. 8-5.
I want to make sure that our officers are prepared to police constitutionally and deal with large-scale protests. Their training is designed to help the officer understand that we need to de-escalate, be proactive, to prevent.
Royals versus the Guardians. Guardians protect their win.
They're also preparing for worst-case scenario.
On top there, 8.
Just in case things go bad. If people show up and they
That's where improv comes in.
they want to commit.
Love it.
Our mass arrest policy is
Luke Jeffers, Bear River, football, basketball, volleyball. It didn't matter what sport Jeffers was playing. He did it physically. The Bear River Junior was an all PVL first team section.
But we know the reality
Was
situations, especially when
the Bear River Junior was an all PVL first team selection. In football and basketball, he had 31 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, and 4.5 sacks last season for his defensive end position. On the hardwood, he scored 287 points and grabbed 206 rebounds. Jeffers was also a standout in volleyball, leading the team with blocks with 46. He was third in kills with 170. Let's do Luke Jeffers. There we go. All right, perfect. Got that.
Last week, the city's office of the Inspector General said the department was making
Inspector General, great movie by Danny Kaye. A's play again today, Wednesday, home game. Another evening, 6 p.m. radio start time. First pitch, 6:40 p.m. Here we go.
In the truest sense from his proximity to the two-way player's power. On Tuesday, the ex-interpreter pleaded guilty.
I should probably check and see.
To bank and tax fraud for stealing nearly $17 million from unsuspecting athlete's bank account. U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada said it wasn't just if they were gambling debts.
As we told all of you a couple months ago, this case was thoroughly investigated, thoroughly vetted, and we came to the conclusion, based on the evidence, that Mr. Mituhara had committed a massive fraud. And that fraud was committed against the one victim in this case, who is Shohei Ohtani. In fact, after we announced the charges, we only discovered more fraud in this case.
Okay.
Mr. Mituhara had victimized Mr. Ohtani to the extent that he wouldn't even pay for dental fees. He stole money from Mr. Ohtani to pay for his own dental care. The fraud was deep and the fraud was extensive. So now you see Mr. Mituhara has gone before a federal judge. He stated under oath that he was fully responsible for this fraud. He's accepted his responsibility. He's admitted to his guilt, and we will proceed to sentencing in this case.
So weather,
vindication
Shadow
of victim,
Springs,
but also the larger
Newcastle.
community
Oof,
that demands
101.
we address these types of fraud cases aggressively and with justice in mind.
The case involved arguably the world's most famous baseball player and the sport's most valuable voice. Despite that, the source said
Rockland.
Ohtani was vulnerable.
Because of this rampant fraud,
103 today. Loomis, 103. Woof.
That is tasked with looking at fraud against
Okay.
older adults, against immigrant groups. Ohtani is an immigrant, came to this country, is not familiar with
Dashcam video shows head-on bus crash in Placer County. This is from Fox 40 News. On Tuesday, the Auburn Police Department released dashboard camera footage of a crash between a Placer County Transit bus and a Honda Accord on May 29th.
It came the same day Major League Baseball banned Padres infielder Tucupita Marcano for life for betting on the sport,
Tucupita.
and 4 others were suspended for 1 year in the game's biggest gambling scandal in decades. Major League Baseball said Marcano placed 387 bets totaling more than $150,000 with illegal sports books.
Tucupita.
24-year-old Venezuelan with 148 games of Major League experience became the first active player in the century, banned for life because of gambling. Oakland A's pitcher Michael Kelly was suspended for a year for betting on baseball, while in the minor leagues, 3 minor leaguers were also banned for a year for betting on big league games.
America's First News with Matt Ray.
No, it's Dr. Mitch.
Healthy arteries make a gas? Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
the
you're
real
me.
gas.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made
All right.
all day long to keep our arteries open, relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and
The sun shone bright. The sun shine bright.
This precious
The
gas
sun shine bright.
will
The sun shone bright.
Energy can go down.
Winning that one.
and you can get tingling in your
Taking that
hands
one.
and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric
Oh, gosh,
Oxide,
allergies.
can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to totalwellness.com. That's
Liberty freely ran away with that one, 88-75. Mercury versus the Storm. The Mercury didn't rise. Storm brought
In
the
today's
thunder.
troubled world, our USA Armed Forces stand ready to protect you, your family, and our American way of life. When veterans return to civilian life, they deserve your recognition and support. You can help put vets to work by donating your car, truck,
Itch in the
or
nose.
van
There's no
to Patriotic
way.
Hearts. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find
uncouth
jobs
or
or
couth
even
way to
start
do
their own
that.
business.
Just gotta
Donate
like,
today for fast, free
Wow.
of your vehicle, running or not.
woo!
Operators are standing by to answer questions.
30 seconds, Adam.
Deductible vehicle donation. Find out how you can make a difference
Gosh.
in the life of the United States veteran. Wow. Call 800-209-4580 for 24-hour response. Call 800-209-4580. 800-209-4580. That's 800-209-4580.
And good Wednesday morning to you. Wednesday, June 5th, 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Lincoln. Currently 68 degrees right now. Looking for a high today. Woof. 103 degrees today. Get ready for it, gang. Here it is. All right, and here is sports ball. Let's start in the WNBA right now. The Commissioner's Cup is happening. Mystics versus the Sun. The Sun shone over the Mystics. They are on top there, 76-59. Liberty versus the Sky. Liberty freely ran away with that one, 88-75. Mercury versus the Storm. The Mercury did not rise. The Storm came in, brought the thunder, won that one, 82-62 over to the major leagues. Giants versus the D-backs. D-backs bite. Ooh. Win that one, 8-5. A's versus the Mariners. The Mariners sailed away with that one, 4-3. A's play the Mariners again today. It's a home game. They are at home right now, and it's going to be an evening game. Radio start time on KAHI today, 6 o'clock tonight. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. tonight. A's on KAHI again tonight versus the Seattle Mariners. Radio start time, 6 p.m. First pitch at 6:40 p.m. Padres versus the Angels, an all Southern California game there. Angels fly away with that one, 4-2. Reds versus the Rockies. Reds, I don't have a pun for that one. The Reds win that one, 4-1. We've got the Mets versus the Nationals. Nationals did not guard the lead. They lose that one to the Mets, 6-1. And the Kansas City Royals versus the Guardians. The Guardians did guard their lead there. They win that one 8-5. Going local here, I've got the Auburn Journal in my hot little hands here, talking about the athletes that excelled in multiple sports this last year. Let's go over to Bear River. Luke Jeffers, basketball, volleyball, and football. It didn't matter what sport Jeffers was playing. He did it physically. The Bear River Junior was an all PVL first team selection in football and basketball. He had 31 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, and 4.5 sacks last season. What's a half of a sack? 4.1. Anyway, okay. From his defensive end position, on the hardwood, he scored 287 points and grabbed 206 rebounds. My goodness, that's pretty good. Jeffers was also a standout in volleyball, leading the team in blocks with 46, and he was third in kills with 170. That means they spiked the ball. And that is your KAHI Sports here for this Wednesday, June 5th. Back with your weather from meteorologist Tim Root right after this.
Besides facial redness, bumps and bruises,
Oh my gosh, I need to sneeze that whole time.
other signs include burning, stinging, or swelling of the face, even enlargement of the
All right,
nose.
Timmy, you're up.
Rosacea can also affect the eyes, causing a bloodshot appearance and irritation that could lead to vision loss. If you have any sign of rosacea, see a dermatologist and ask about advances in treatment, or visit the National Rosacea Society at rosacea.org.
Good Wednesday morning. We have an excessive heat warning in effect for today and Thursday. It'll be mostly sunny, very hot. Temperatures approaching 100 degrees each afternoon. And a west-southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear, mild overnight in the low 70s with light winds. Not quite as hot on Friday, mostly sunny around 93, 94. And it'll be around 90 this weekend with sunshine. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Woof. All right, everybody. If you haven't busted out the shorts and the short sleeve shirts yet, today is a good day to do it. It is time to do it. Get the air conditioner on if you haven't gotten it on yet. All ready to go. Hey, coming up in our next segment, we're going to have your KAHI news, also your California Ag Report, and another event for the calendar. It's summer out there. There's daylight. There's a lot to do. We'll keep you updated on all of that. Off now to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
You're listening to America's First News with Matt Ray on the TN Radio Network.
Feel a little off today.
Good Wednesday morning, America's First News.
Feeling a little off. Dashcam video shows head-on bus crash in Placer County. This is from Fox 40 News. On Tuesday, the Auburn Police Department released dashboard camera footage of a crash between a Placer County transit bus and a Honda Accord on May 29th. Okay, I got to take care of this after this.
And Pfizer, the head of the World Food Program last month, said northern Gaza had entered full-blown famine after nearly 7 months of war. President Joe Biden will mark the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion in France this week as he tries to demonstrate steadfast support for European security at a time when some allies fear Republican Donald Trump threatens to upend American commitments if he wins another term in the White House. The trip comes as the deadliest fighting on the continent since World War II continues in Ukraine, and allied countries struggle to find ways to turn the tide against Russia, which has recently gained ground on the battlefield. It is also set against deepening cracks between the U.S. and many European allies over how to manage the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. And the first heat wave of the season has arrived earlier than usual across much of the Southwest, with dangerously hot conditions that produced triple-digit temperatures on Tuesday. By today, much of an area stretching from southwest California to central Arizona will see easily their hottest weather since last September, and record daily highs will be in jeopardy from Las Vegas to Phoenix, according to the National Weather Service. Excessive heat warnings were issued for Wednesday morning through Friday evening for parts of California, southern Nevada, and Arizona. Fire crews are on high alert, especially in Arizona. That's where restrictions went into effect before Memorial Day in some areas and will be ordered by Thursday across much of the western and south central parts of the state. A prosecutor is asking the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals to reverse the governor's pardon of former Army Sergeant who was convicted of fatally shooting a Black Lives Matter demonstrator. Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza said he's filed a request with the Court of Criminal Appeals, the state's highest criminal court, to review the pardon issued by Republican Governor Greg Abbott. Daniel Perry shot and killed Rick Foster during a protest in July of 2020. Perry was sentenced to 25 years in prison in May. Conservative figures.
Just 3 weeks ago, on May 16th, the Board of Finance and the governor, with their politics and justice and their monthly legal system. And for that, they should be ashamed of themselves. Today, Travis County District Attorney's Office have maintained this against the governor. We would be asking for the courts to intervene in order to restore the sanctity of the rule of law in this great state.
We have justice for Jared for 18 hours after waiting 3 years for a trial. We got justice for my son. It was planned, it was premeditated. And the very next day, the governor announced his plans to pardon him, and now we're here. He has done it, and I am not okay with this. And nobody should be okay with this. My own child was killed on American soil for doing nothing but practicing his First and Second Amendment rights. And our governor just said that's okay.
Last month, 14 Democratic attorneys general said the U.S. Justice Department should investigate whether Perry denied Foster's right to free speech and peaceful protest. Two federal charges. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi claimed the victory of his alliance in an election team as a referendum on his deputy president is a popular polarizing figure as he presided over a fast-growing economy while advancing the new national process. The 73-year-old was only the second Indian prime minister for the third straight term. His new nationalist party secured a majority of its own elected in 2014 and 2019, facing a stronger than expected challenge from the opposition. But together with other parties, his National Democratic Alliance is blocking enough seats for a parliamentary majority in the former spirit conservative government. The Amazon labor union experienced labor won a major victory at an Amazon warehouse 2 years ago has agreed to affiliate with the Teamsters Union, a group that's bound to inject the energy for the destructive organization. Amazon's labor union has personally wrote a post on X saying our messages clear out the contract right now. According to the union contract, this organization still hasn't been able to secure more than 2 years after becoming the president of at Amazon warehouse. Since then, the AOU has faced many other challenges, including 2 election losses at Amazon warehouses and triple strike against organizing strategy. During this sports this morning and on the diamond, Peter Lawrence has been a 440-foot home run. Harrison Bader launched a 2-run shot, and the New York Mets beat the Washington Nationals 6-3 Tuesday night. Lawrence has led the team to the 9th inning of Nationals scoring Finnegan, who came in with the Nets trailing 5-2. The column is at wide. In 81 career games against the Nationals, Alonso has 26 homers, 1,400 Nationals walks, most by any opposing player in the past 5 years. And Frankie Montes took a no-hitter into the second inning, Ellington and Cruz to the 448th inning, and the Cincinnati Reds beat the Colorado Rockies. But Montes returned the next 3 batters to his outing and win for the first time since on the hardwood, Brianna Stewart scored a season high 23 points around 14 goals. The New York Liberty to an 88-75 win Tuesday night over the Chicago Sky, who lost 48 points in injection. Here's Josh Allen, who was on the remaining 3 games, 2 10 points, 3 behind discussion with official Sky players and coach Bruce Weatherspoon for answers.
She actually she told us that my girl and whether he felt like was a correct call is what he made. It's more about composure for us. So state and all that same components are feels. What was your view on it? Because you know, some understanding that you did anybody tell you what the reason for it was? I'm trying to win this relationship.
Sabrina Ionescu had 24 points for the We know that Djokovic pulled out of the French Open with an injured knee Tuesday, and his title defense led to his current state at number 1 in the rankings. Djokovic, who has been struggling with knee problems, covers meniscus and might need more than
Beep, 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 beep. Bum, ba-da-ba, boom. Be-do-do-do-do. Ba-do-do, ba-do. Ba-da-ba-ba, be-do-ba-do-boo. Ba-do-boo-ba-do. June.
What can I say? First of all, it's everyone's player's dream to become number 1 in the world. In the other way, seeing Novak retiring, and here I think it's for everyone disappointing. So I wish him a speedy recovery. I try to not think so much about this because this is a tournament where I used to struggle a lot, especially in the last 2.
California Bluegrass Association's 49th annual Father's Day Bluegrass Festival is adding a pair of special shows to keep the music going after Friday and Saturday.
They make all this process possible because without them it's impossible, and also without them guys.
June 13th through the 16th. Champion Iga Swiatek will meet in the French Open semifinals. We are just getting started on this Wednesday morning. You can always reach out to me anytime across the board on social media at Matt Ray Talk. More on the way on this 5th day of June. We've got America's First News.
Breaking news first. America's First News. Coast to Coast with Matt Ray.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to totalwellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. Totalwellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
30 seconds, Adam.
Fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme. The solution to maximize your engine's
That's a good
performance
distance.
and fuel economy.
Holy
Whether you're
smokes.
driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with
Let's
EPA
do
to
weather.
Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret
Forest Hill.
Gasoline Extreme and go further on each
Extreme.
tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
And good Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday, June 5th. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Forest Hill. Currently, it is 68 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 93 degrees. And speaking of Forest Hill, let's talk about a free hazardous waste drop-off. Yeah, you got some stuff sitting around the house there that you need to get rid of, but haven't quite been sure how to get rid of it. Well, we've got the hazardous waste drop-off coming to Colfax and Forest Hill, both at the high schools. That's going to be Saturday, June 15th in Colfax and Saturday, June 22nd in Forest Hill. It's going to be at the Forest I don't know why I can't say that. Forest Hill High School parking lot. There we go. That's at 23319 Forest Hill Road. That's going to be on June 22nd at the Colfax High School, right off of Ben Taylor Road. That's going to be on June 15th. What can you bring to this party? I'll tell you what, it's going to be a maximum of 15 gallons or 125 pounds per vehicle. You can bring cleaners, medications, sharps, batteries, pesticides, aerosol cans, compressed gas cylinders, fluorescent tubes, oil filters, paint, auto fluids. What you cannot bring. What are unacceptable items to bring? Medical waste, other than sharps and medications, refrigerators, ammunitions and explosives, gas cylinders larger than 5 gallons, radioactives or PCBS, tires, electronic waste like computers. Yeah, it's not an e-waste drop-off. It is just a regular waste drop-off. Again, cleaners, medications, sharps, batteries, pesticides, aerosol cans, compressed gas cylinders, fluorescent tubes, oil filters, paint, and auto fluids are acceptable items that you can bring, maximum 15 gallons or 125 pounds per vehicle. Placer County residents, you need to show proof of ID. You can do that. You can drop that off from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Placer County businesses, fees applies. You must call to make an appointment. That's going to be 800-207-8222 if you're a Placer County business. But again, that's going to be at Colfax High School Saturday, June 15th, and at the Forest Hill High School on Saturday, June 22nd. Free hazard waste drop off. Back with your KAHI News right after this.
Relationships and more. Washington, we even touch on government policies impacting your health. The Dr. Dolly Show is also a live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions on the air. Join me, Dr. Dolly, Monday through Friday from 9 to noon here on FM 104.5 and 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
And here's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, June 5th. I'm Chris Quant. Dashcam video shows head-on bus crash in Placer County. This is from Fox 40 News. On Tuesday, the Auburn Police Department released dashboard camera footage of a crash between a Placer County transit bus and a Honda Accord on May 29th that shut down Highway 49 for several hours. The crash occurred around 6:12 p.m. when a Honda Accord crashed head-on into the Placer County transit bus that only had the driver and one passenger aboard. The video shows the moment the Honda appears to move from the middle turn lane into oncoming traffic and crashes into the driver's side of the bus, causing the bus to flip onto its passenger side in the middle of the roadway. Both drivers and bus passenger were taken to Sutter Roseville for varying degrees of injuries. The driver of the Honda was found to show signs of intoxication at the time of the crash, police said. Quote, consequently, formal charges of suspicion of DUI with injury are being filed with the district attorney, unquote, the Auburn Police Department wrote. Quote, this incident is a stark reminder of the dangers of drinking and driving, unquote. Mineshaft rescue ends with happy reunion. This is from the Mountain Democrat. Local firefighters saved the life of a wayward pet dog who had become trapped in an abandoned mine last Thursday night. According to information shared by the El Dorado County Fire Protection District, Thursday evening, the pooch wandered into an abandoned mine shaft near Broadway in Placerville and then fell 60 feet down a narrow borehole that contained water at the bottom. Firefighters from the EDCFPD and Diamond Springs El Dorado Fire Protection District responded to the call around 7:21 p.m. and prepared to aid in the tight squeeze rescue effort. One rescuer was lowered down the borehole using rope systems during the confined space entry. The rescuer secured the dog, which was brought back to the surface with no issues in a process that took close to an hour and 15 minutes to complete. The dog, who had surprisingly sustained only minor injuries according to the EDCFPD Facebook post, was happily reunited with its owner. Confined space entry rescue technicians are required to have specialized training to conduct their operations, reviewing their skills and information regularly. Confined space rescues require a permit to be conducted, which needs at least 4 trained persons to be approved. Back with more news after this.
Nature with Home Furnishings has always carried Sacramento's largest selection of American-made furniture, and it's all on sale now. The absolute best living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, mattresses, home office, and more. See in every apartment. And we're proud to offer so many choices during this special sale, Nature Room. You know, the building with the water wheel.
Tell them Brooklyn Nova and Orion sent you.
Because KAHI cares. Here's another KAHI community bulletin.
Attention all cat lovers. Are you looking for a way to help cats in need? Look no further. Animal Outreach of the Motherlode is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing El Dorado County with services and programs that help eliminate pet overpopulation and reduce the euthanasia of adoptable animals. Animal Outreach serves over 6,000 cats and dogs each year through their low-cost spay, neuter, and vaccine clinic, and they are the only organization in the county to offer free spays and neuters for community cats through their sponsored once-per-month free feral day. In addition, they also manage a feline rescue that allows them to care for and find homes for kittens and cats. So, if you're looking for a furry companion, please consider adopting from Animal Outreach. Animal Outreach has continued to thrive for almost 30 years due to the incredible support we receive from our community. Volunteers, donors, fosters, and adopters all serve important roles in their success. If you're interested in getting involved, please visit their website, animaloutreach.net. That's animaloutreach.net to learn more and reach out.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous. I was given a prescription opioid pain medication, and within only a few months, I was completely addicted. I lost everything. I had to leave school, stop playing sports in college, and I started to watch my life slip away. I want people to know that these drugs are addictive. One prescription can be all it takes to lose everything.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Visit cdc.gov/RX awareness.
Continuing now with your KAHI news from the Morning Brew, a recent lawsuit alleges that your favorite 3 p.m. beverage is making promises it can't keep. Consumer Kristen Cobbs filed a class action suit against trendy soda company Poppy. The suit alleges the brand can't possibly deliver on its positive gut health claims given its ingredients, so the soda's marketing is deceptive. The lawsuit filed on behalf of Poppy drinkers last week claims the soda only contains around 2 grams of prebiotic agave inulin fiber that consumers would need to drink at least 4 cans a day to see any gut benefit. It also states that if you chugged that much Poppy, the sugar content would easily would offset any health gains. Poppy called the suit "quote unquote" baseless. Looking at the big picture, the "quote unquote" functional drink market, featuring liquid treats that claim to help/boost, clear some part of your body, now makes up 10% of all non-alcoholic drink sales in the U.S. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. President Biden signed an executive order restricting asylum claims based on the number of migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. The ACLU plans to sue. Sean Diddy Combs sold his majority stake in Revolt, the media company he founded, as he faces lawsuits accusing him of sexual assault. Max is the latest streaming service to get more expensive. Warner Brothers announced it's raising prices on what used to be HBO Max about 2 weeks before the second season of House of the Dragon begins. And Instagram is testing ads you can't skip in case you need a reason to stop scrolling and feeling bad that you're not the one on vacation. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is miscreant, meaning criminal or villainous. And that's your KAHI news for this Wednesday, June 5th. I'm Haley Ship.
It's a real story, heavily validated by anecdotes of a couple's trials and extreme successes in building up once nearly sterile soil in their backyard to some kind of a botanist's dream. Call what we're talking about today the children's version. Young readers, gardeners, and educators have a new agricultural adventure to dig into with the latest children's book from Feeding Minds Press. The School in Jackie's Garden is a cumulative-style picture book that tells the story of Jackie and her garden friends as they discover the wonders of soil and how things grow. Peggy Thomas is the author.
It's a cumulative story that celebrates all the critters in the soil that help this little girl, Jackie, and her garden grow. When it's time to harvest, Jackie and her friends become part of the soil cycle and the plant's life cycle by putting all their scraps back in the compost pile to make more healthy soil.
She says she hopes kids will just decide to explore what's underneath the ground. Pick up a worm, says Thomas. Don't be spooked. The book is currently open for pre-orders.
Central Coast growers know just how much damage aphids can do to leafy veg, cole, and brassica crops. But versus insecticide from BASF makes all visible aphids disappear thanks to a unique, single, and targeted mode of action. Let's get the aphids' response to this simple, effective solution. Taking calls now to hear from those unhappy aphids. Hello? Anyone? Making aphids disappear from leafy vegetable, coal, or basket crops is easy with Versus insecticide. Always read and follow label directions. Farmers and farm enthusiasts, get ready for a free in-person event coming to Fresno State's Wet Center this Friday. Co-hosted by the California Air Resources Board, CalSTART, and Fresno State, the Future of Food Tour is a one-day zero-emissions vehicle and clean off-road equipment showcase that brings ag industry leaders together to discuss state programs and incentive funding opportunities that help farms accelerate sustainable farming efforts. To register, go to californiacorps.org. See you soon.
This is California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network. I am Haley Ship. For more ag news, check us online at aginfo.net.
Catch Sinatra and Friends, Saturdays and Sundays, right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishing on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
All right.
This is Jen.
Talk about Harriet Beecher Stowe a little bit here.
Helps me reach people throughout the foothills who are looking for the best pictures to capture their memories that will last a lifetime. Whether it's a wedding, engagement, graduation, or celebrating a newborn, KAHI Radio connects me with my target audience like old radio can. Thanks, KAHI.
To advertise your business on KAHI Radio, contact the KAHI sales staff at 530-885-5636 today.
All right, what are we talking about? Jury duty?
I love the sunsets. I love the foothills. Oh, speaking of which, join me every Saturday at 8 p.m. for Rewind, featuring the stars you grew up with. And by the way, my name is Jimmy K. We've been doing this for a long time. If you haven't heard the show yet, check it out. This Saturday, 8 p.m., Rewind on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950. It's time to live better at CAC Fit at 2514 Bell Road and Crossroads Shopping Center. Whether your fitness goals are to lose weight, gain weight, functional training, or recovery, they've got you covered with customized training programs, fitness classes, micro massages, and more. Over 7 days a week with 24/7 access. Stop by CAC Fit at 2514 Bell Road and Crossroads Shopping Center. Call 530-885-1964 or online at cacfit.com.
As you age, you may have questions about family transportation, health benefits, or other services around your home where you can live. And the Elder Care Locator has the answers at 1-800-677-1116. Our care advisors can connect you with trustworthy local experts and support you to age well at home. You will have new assistance and where can ensure purchase of your home and Elder Care Locator. 1-800-677-1116.
30 seconds to the top of the hour, 6:59 a.m. Coming up next hour, we're going to have your daily dad jokes. That's right, make you laugh, sigh, roll your eyes. You can send me yours live at KAHI.com. Also, an encore of Tuesday's daily trainer tip from Brad at CAC Fit. Pausing. And good Wednesday morning to you. It is Wednesday, June 5th. It is right smack dab at the top of the hour, 7 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI studios, looking outside right now from a very nicely conditioned, air-conditioned KAHI studios. Yeah, I've set the thermostat at 73 degrees. While I'm here, look. I don't feel bad about it. There's a lot of equipment in here that creates a lot of heat. During the winter, it's great. It's nice and toasty, but during the summer, it gets a little warm in here. So yeah, I got it set at 73 degrees. Don't worry, I set it at 75 when I leave. So we just make sure that we're keeping it at a moderate temperature here before we go. You're going to want to probably turn on the air conditioner today if you haven't already. It's going to be a hot one out there, gang. We're going to check in with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit to see what our weather is looking like today. But spoiler alert, we're hitting triple digits in some of our areas today. So, hydrate, people. Let's start drinking your water now. And maybe the kids are going to be out there selling some lemonade. I know we're on summer break right now. There's a lot of kids. My boys are. The video games have ramped up in the Quant household here, as all the cousins. They're basically all off right now for summer, so they're all, we've got cousins across the country and locally as well, but the kids just hop on and they're gaming throughout the day. So I'm like, part of me feels like, I'm not. They're hanging out with their cousins, they're having fun. I'm okay with that, especially since they all can't be in the same place at the same time, but virtually. What a world we live in. Hey, as we're thinking about what's going on today, looking at some events that happened today on this day in history, and this day, 1851. Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin began publication. I love the history. I love finding out about things. I'm like, I don't think I ever. I mean, I know Uncle Tom's Cabin. I know Harriet Beecher Stowe, but we kind of learn these things in class when you're growing up, but you never like, what? Who is this Harriet Beecher woman? I know about her. I know that she was the author of this book, but like, who is she as a person? Well, I thought, we've got this thing called the internet here. Why don't I look it up? So interestingly, to find out, Harriet Beecher Stowe's father and all 7 of her brothers were ministers. So she had 7 brothers, all ministers, keeping the family business going there. She was born on June 14th, 1811 in Litchfield, Connecticut. Her mother, Roxana Foote Beecher, died 5 years later. Over the course of 3 marriages, her father, a Presbyterian minister, had 13 children, 11 of whom survived into adulthood. It's interesting there. Looking at some other facts about her, some fun facts about her. I don't know if they're fun, but other facts about her. Uncle Tom's Cabin made her rich and famous, according to Henry Louis Gates Jr.'s introduction to the annotated edition of Uncle Tom's Cabin, the National Era. The National Era paid Stowe $300 for 43 chapters. Before the serial's completion, Stowe signed a contract with John P. Jewett and Company to publish 2-volume book-bound edition, and that's when it really took off. Released on March 20th, 1852, the book sold 10,000 copies in the U.S. in its first week and 300,000 in the first year. In the UK, 1.5 million copies flew off the shelves in the first year. Stowe was paid 10 cents for each one sold. According to the London Times, she had already amassed $10,000 in royalties, which back then I'm sure was quite a large sum. She went to court to stop an unauthorized translation of Uncle Tom's Cabin. Immediately after Uncle Tom's Cabin became a literary sensation, a Philadelphia-based German-language newspaper began publishing an unauthorized translation. Stowe took the publisher, F.W. Thomas, to court. American copyright laws were weak, irking British writers whose works were widely pirated. It says here that she pressured Abraham Lincoln on emancipation. Though Stowe had criticized what she saw as his slowness in emancipation and willingness to seek compromise to prevent Southern states' secession, Stowe visited President Abraham Lincoln at the White House in 1862. Apparently, during those days, you could just walk up to the White House and knock on the door and say, "Hey, is the president in? Can you come out and play for a little bit?" During the early days of the Civil War, reportedly, Lincoln greeted her with the quote, "So this is the little woman who brought on this big Civil War," unquote. But some scholars have dismissed the quote as Stowe family legend. And interesting, the Stowes wintered in Florida, a former slave state. The influx of wealth from Uncle Tom's Cabin at the end of the Civil War allowed the Stowes to purchase a winter home in Mandarin, Florida in 1867. It may have seemed strange and perilous for a famous anti-slavery crusader to buy 30 acres in a former slave state so soon after the war. Yet 6 years after the purchase, she wrote a local newspaper, quote, "In all this time, I have not received any incivility from any native Floridian." Interesting. And Harriet Beecher Stowe and Mark Twain were neighbors. The Stowes' primary residence, beginning in 1864, was a villa in the Nook Farm section of Hartford, Connecticut. That's right, where Mark Twain, I remember he wrote and worked there as well. So if you didn't know, now you know some interesting facts about a figure from history that we kind of all know, Uncle Tom's Cabin. But did we really know about the person? Well, now you know a little bit more about the person. Hey, we need to check in with this person, meteorologist Tim Root, to find out what our weather is looking like today. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
temperatures approaching 100 degrees each afternoon. West southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear, low 70s to light winds. Not quite as hot on Friday, mostly sunny around 93, 94. It'll be around 90 this weekend with sunshine. This will be your altitude tonight. And from 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. There's your electricity bill shock you. Turn that bill down by changing your rate. Matching your electric usage to the rate can save you money. Visit BGE. Rate analysis to compare rate and see if you take a high down of your electricity bill. Today, this money saving.
Brought to you by Pioneer Community Energy. Become a radio star.
You see them at night, they steal from you. Any device with a digital display, blue light, or sleep mode steals energy. They may only steal a little bit, but like drops of water in a bucket, it adds up and you pay. Stop energy theft. Windows computers when not in use. Use a power strip for charging and turn the strip off when done. Stop energy thieves and save. Brought to you by Pioneer Community Energy.
7 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:07 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, I got called for jury duty recently. My grandfather lived to be 100 years old. I don't think he might have only gotten called once. I remember it was a super low, or maybe he never got called for jury duty at all. I think this is since I've graduated high school. This is, I think, my fourth, maybe my fifth time being called for jury duty. Sometimes, I don't know. You just get lucky, I guess. Well, we got an interesting story about a potential juror here who, if this had happened to me, I'd like to think I'm an honest person, but I would, if this happened to me, if I was being potentially selected for a jury, I would have to think this one over twice. We'll talk about that here coming up in just a little bit. And then after that, your Fox Business Report. And later on this hour, we're going to have your daily dad jokes. That's right. Make you laugh, sigh, probably roll your eyes. You can send me yours live at KAHI.com or call me 530-885-3565. And we're going to have an encore presentation of Tuesday's trainer tip with Brad over at CAC Fit. In case you missed it yesterday, I'll play it again a little bit later on this hour. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll play it probably coming up after this segment here as well. All right, off to commercial. We'll be back right after this.
How about getting vaccinated? You can check it out. You've got this. The Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging.
I'm sure that I've got this.
Providers make it.
Good morning, everybody. This is Brad from CAC Fit here with your Tuesday training tip on KAHI Radio. If you guys are having a hard time feeling exercises in the muscle that you're...
Got it. Thanks, Brad.
Learn more at YouGotThis.USAging.org.
You've got this.
Funded by the U.S. Administration for Community Living through a grant to U.S. Aging. This does not necessarily represent the views of ACL or the U.S. government.
Camera goes back. Crunch. The Titanic hits an iceberg. In slow motion, we see the Titanic sinking. People screaming. Oh! Excuse me. What does the sinking of the Titanic have to do with advertising at parties and pie store? Here we go. Don't sink in despair. Everything you need for a great party, you'll find at Wally's Party World. I'm met with a local station and members of the RAB, the Radio Advertising Bureau, with access to research, marketing, expertise. Stop. I have the great tenor singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat in Italian while clinging to the side of the ship. And with the radio station, the RAB pilot who buys party supplies, when they buy, how much they spend, everything will get really close to the consumer.
Radio, up close, personal. Call the station. We can partner with you to deliver advertising that gets results.
11 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:11 a.m. Playing some smooth jams here for you. Hey, if it is your birthday, happy stinking birthday to you. If you have a birthday today, you share your birthday with one Kenny G. Was playing right now. Was this not like the song of the 90s, late 90s? Just this. It's called Songbird by Kenny G. Probably now playing in every department store and grocery store at some point. Man, this brings back. Oh man, this is talk about a song that, I mean, congratulations for Kenny G and his huge success playing the saxophone, but this has got to be one of the most overplayed songs I think I've ever heard in my life. But we're just gonna, in honor of his birthday, Kenny, it's your birthday today. Born on this day in 1956, you learned how to play the saxophone. You played that alto sax or whatever saxophone you play, the really skinny one, really well. And happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great birthday. Susie Orman, American financial advisor, author, and television host, born on this day in 1951. Brian McKnight, American singer-songwriter, born on this day in 1969. Mark Wahlberg, you know him, actor, rapper, a.k.a. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. That's right. Forgot about that. Born on this day in 1971. So if it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. Hope you have a fantastic day today. Get out the suntan lotion today for your birthday. It's going to be a warm one out there. We'll check in with meteorologist Tim Root a little bit later in case you missed the weather at the top of the hour. But before we went to a commercial break there, all right, producer, that's enough. We're good. Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that. Thanks for serenading us here for a little bit. Taking a look here at the Morning Brew, have an article here. We're talking a little bit about jury duty before going to the break there. And yeah, I've been called for jury duty just most recently about a month ago, and I came right when I was going on a business trip, so I delayed it for August for when I need to call in again. Now, when I first started, and some of you might remember this, you had to go down for the entire week. At that point, I was living in Sacramento County, so I had to go downtown to the Sacramento courthouse. And basically, you had to just sit there for a week. And it wasn't, you didn't have to call in and then, hey, we might call you in tomorrow, so just call in every day. And if you come down for your 1 day. No, it was just show up, be in the jury room every day and hang out. And if they called you, they called you. If not, bring a book and hopefully you can pass the time by. Now, I will remember, and I was just out of high school. Oh, my goodness gracious. Is it that time already? Well, we might have to come back to this. That was a quick 4 minutes there. When I was in high school, I had just gotten out of high school. I was in college. And I don't know if some of you remember this, but I was down there for jury duty the week that the guy, obviously mental health issues, basically said, no, I'm putting it into fourth gear and I'm going to drive my semi-truck into the state capitol building. Does anybody remember that? Basically hopped the curb, hopped the dividers, and drove his, I think the truck was full of milk or something like that. Decided, I've had enough of these politicians and I'm going to drive my semi-truck into the state capitol building. I can't remember. I guess I could probably look that up. What year that was. It was probably late 90s that happened, early 2000s. But yeah, I remember walking down on my lunch because, I don't know, I was down there serving jury duty. I had 2 hours for lunch. So why the heck not go down there and check out and see what I was doing. Actually, a friend of mine from school, I was going to Sac State at the time, was a cameraman for one of the local news stations. And he had his camera set out there in front. And he said, because there was a barrier, you couldn't get close. He's like, hey, you want to take a look? So I got to look through the viewfinder of his camera and zoom in and see the charred remains of the truck and all the ATF agents cleaning up basically cans and cans of condensed milk, I think is what it was for this guy. So anyway, that was my first jury duty service. Since then, you just get to call in, and I'll be doing that again in August. Jury duty usually comes and goes without any drama behind it. Having time to remind your boss you have no choice in the matter. But one juror in a case over an alleged theft of $40 million from a program meant to feed kids during the pandemic got served more intrigue this week than any other production of 12 Angry Men ever contemplated. The juror was dismissed after explaining that someone left a bag with $120,000 in cash at her home, an offer of more than and an offer of more if she voted to acquit the 7 defendants in the trial. The 7 are the first of 50 people expected to stand trial for allegedly participating in a conspiracy to make off with $250 million from taxpayers. So I don't know. A bag of $120,000 shows up at your door, just to say, hey, forget about it. Don't worry about it. I don't know. I don't know what I do. I do the right thing. I'm not going to do it. We give it back. I'm not going to take a bribe. But still, I think I'd have to think about it for about a half a second. Hey, we want to do an encore version in case you missed it yesterday of Brad from CAC Fit. His Tuesday trainer tip. We're going to go do the Tuesday trainer tip here on a Wednesday. Let's listen in.
Good morning, everybody. This is Brad from CAC Fit here with your Tuesday training tip on KAHI. If you guys are having a hard time feeling exercises in the muscle that you're supposed to be working, that's totally normal, totally common. What we want to do is build a good mind-muscle connection. And a tip to do that is just really start to slow your reps down a little bit, especially the negative portion of the rep. Think about taking a full 3 seconds to lower the bar. For example, like if we're doing a bicep curl. As the bar comes back down, you're extending your elbow. Take 3 full seconds, pause, and then come up. If you guys start slowing down your reps, you're going to get way better with your brain connecting to the target muscle, so you can feel it where you want to feel it, get sore where you want to get sore, and have way less stress on your joints. Anyway, hope you guys all had a great day. This is Brad from CAC Fit with your Tuesday training tip on KAHI Radio.
McCullough's department store, you don't have to battle for parking. Parking is very close to the front door, and you don't need a membership card to get inside to do your stuff. McCullough, Auburn's department store, has everything you need right now for the warmer weather: shorts, t-shirts, Levi's, those hand-free slip-on sneakers, and much more, all on sale. To save money, time, and gas by shopping at McCullough in the Auburn Town Center right off the valley.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:18 a.m. Hey, good morning to you, Newcastle. Currently 71 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today of 101 degrees. It's going to be hot out there, so make sure you are ready for it. Hydrate, people. Hydrate. Start drinking your water right now. Hey, coming up in our next segment, we're going to have your daily dad jokes. That's right. Make you laugh, sigh. I'm guessing probably roll your eyes. You can send me yours live at KAHI.com, LIVE at KAHI.com. Or you can call me 530-885-3565. Daily Dad Jokes coming up next. We'll take a look and see what we've got here in the inbox. Going back now to America's First News. I'll see you back here at the bottom of the hour. Segment.
For what he describes as unprecedented attacks on the Justice Department.
Okay. Dad jokes.
He won't be intimidated. Garland called out the political conspiracy theory that the Department of Justice is behind every single one of Donald Trump's illegal.
Today is what? Donut Day?
Committee and the Oversight Committee are seeking contempt as a means of obtaining
Dad jokes about
donuts. Seeking contempt as a means of obtaining
75 funny and a glazing donut puns and jokes.
That could harm the integrity of future investigations.
Insanely funny donut jokes. Are they insanely funny? Let's see. Why did the donut go to therapy? It had too many emotional glazings. What's a donut's favorite party game? Dunkin' Donuts. How do you fix a broken donut? With a glaze of love. Why did the donut join a band? It had the perfect filling for the role. That's pretty good. What did the donut say to the coffee? You complete me. Why did the donut get a promotion? It rose to the occasion. What's a donut's favorite sport? Dunk it ball. How does a donut answer the phone? With a glazed and confused? With a glaze and no. What did the donut say to the gym trainer? I'm here to get a little more wholesome. Why are donuts excellent detectives? They always follow the crumb trail. How do you catch a runaway donut? Lure it with a glaze trap. Okay, these are okay.
Garland threw cold water on Trump's lie that the Biden administration tried to kill him during the search of his residence for stolen documents.
This is dangerous. It raises.
Why did the donut go to therapy? It had a lot of emotional holes to fill. I told my doctor I ate too many donuts, and he said I have a glazed over problem. What do you call a donut that can do magic? A glazed wizard. How do you know if someone is a true donut lover? They have a holistic approach. That's good. Holistic approach to life. What do you call a donut with a fancy hat? A sprinkled topped hat. A sprinkle topped hat. Tacular treat. No. Why did the polar bear avoid the donut shop? He was trying to keep his Arctic roll figure. What do you call a donut that's always late? A dole. Nope. How do you fix a broken donut? With Dometic dough glue. With Dometic dough glue, of course. Why did the donut get fired from his job? He kept getting glazed and confused.
To stop publication of an academic article written by a Palestinian human rights attorney accuses Israel of committing genocide in Gaza and upholding an apartheid regime. When the editors refused the request to publish the piece Monday morning, the board, made up of faculty and alumni from Columbia University's law school, shut down the law review website entirely. It remained offline Tuesday evening, a static homepage informing visitors the domain's under maintenance. The episode at one of the country's oldest and most prestigious legal journals.
Where did the general keep his armies up his sleeves?
That has deeply divided student, staff, and
I don't
college
get it.
administrators since the beginning of the Israel-Hamas war. Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling Tuesday touted the nation's second largest police department is fully prepared to handle crowds of protesters expected during the Democratic National Convention, including new ways to handle possible mass arrests. Law enforcement agencies have been planning for more than a year for the August convention that's expected to draw an estimated 50,000 visitors and massive protests.
We want to make sure that our officers are prepared to police constitutionally and deal with large-scale protests. Their training is designed to help the officer understand that we need to de-escalate, be proactive to prevent the possibility of violence and vandalism. We are also preparing for worst-case scenarios, just in case things go bad. If people show up and they want to act out violently or they want to commit acts of vandalism, our mass arrest policy is in place just in case. But keep in mind, mass arrest is the last resort. If we don't have to arrest one person, we don't want to have to do that, if that's at all possible. But we know the realities when the number of people we're expecting to converge upon is inevitable. That there is a possibility for vandalism, there is a possibility for violence, and we're prepared to deal with that.
More than 50 organizations plan to protest in Chicago, which has denied permits for demonstrations near the United Center's convention site. That sparked lawsuits and groups vowing to march whether or not they have permits. Chicago police generally received high marks for the handling of NATO protests in 2012, but they faced strong criticism for being unprepared in the aftermath of.
Oh, yay, Linda!
A civil unrest broke out nationwide. Last week, the city's office of the Inspector General said the department has made progress, but it has work to do when it comes to large-scale events. As an interpreter,
Why did the banana wear sunscreen at the beach? It refused to peel.
Instead, Mizuhara exploited the Japanese English language barrier to isolate Otani and Profit in the truest sense from his proximity to the two-way players' power. On Tuesday, the ex-interpreter pleaded guilty in federal court in Santa Ana, California, to bank and tax fraud for stealing nearly $17 million from the unsuspecting athlete's bank account. U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada said it wasn't just to cover gambling debts.
As we told all of you a couple months ago, this case was thoroughly investigated,
Broccoli.
and we came to the conclusion, based on the evidence, that Mr. Mitsuhara had committed a massive fraud.
Cool.
And that
We got
fraud
some.
was committed against the one victim in this case, who was
Got some dad jokes lined up.
In fact,
It's good. It's encouraging when you feel like you've got a strong set happening.
we discovered Mitsuhara.
Next segment is what, 4 minutes? So we'll do that. It's ready to go.
He stole money from Mr.
Sports ball back here.
The fraud is deep.
So dad jokes, weather.
So now you see Mr. Mitchell is nominated for a federal judge. He stated under oath that he was fully responsible for this fraud. He's accepted his responsibility. He's admitted to his guilt, and we will proceed to sentencing in the case and finally bring vindication to the victim, but also the larger community that demands we address these types of fraud cases aggressively and with justice in mind.
The case involved arguably the world's most famous baseball player and the sport's most valuable voice. Despite that, Estrada said Ohtani was vulnerable.
Because of this rampant fraud,
time to edit the
established something known as the Vulnerable Victims Task Force that is tasked with looking at fraud against older adults, against immigrant groups. I will say Mr. Ohtani is an immigrant, came to this country, is not familiar with the ways of this country, and therefore was easily prey to someone who was more familiar with our financial systems. I was able to take advantage of Mr. Ohtani.
Tuesday's guilty plea was anticipated after Mizuhara agreed to a deal with the U.S. Attorney's Office last month. Sentencing is set for October. It came the same day Major League Baseball banned Padres infielder Tucupita Marcano for life for betting on the sport, and 4 others were suspended for 1 year in the game's biggest gambling scandal in decades. Major League Baseball said Marcano placed 387 bets totaling more than $150,000 with a legal sportsbook. The 24-year-old Venezuelan with 149 games of Major League experience became the first active player in the century banned for life because of gambling. Oakland A's pitcher Michael Kelly was suspended for a year for betting on baseball, while in the minor leagues, 3 minor leaguers were also banned for a year for betting on big league games.
America's First Foods with Matt Bragg.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to totalwellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. Totalwellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Would your car perform better with premium gas or regular? What do octane ratings mean? I'm Ron Ananian, the Car Doctor, your automotive prescription, right after this.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme, the solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Today's modern vehicle, whether it's a car, SUV, or light truck, is designed with a specific fuel in mind. Read your owner's manual. What octane rating does the vehicle manufacturer call for? That's what you should use. But there are exceptions to the rule. Many high-end or luxury vehicles call for premium or higher octane fuel. And the reason for this is not just due to the
30 seconds, Adam!
There are better fuels
30 seconds!
in premium fuels. Gasoline companies know too that vehicles that run on premium won't perform as well with carbon deposits. So they pack more carbon power to their premium fuels than their regular blend. If you rotate your fuel choices around, say, every third tank full, you may find better performance and miles per gallon because you are cleaning your engine and fuel system while you drive. Just don't tell your mechanic you're trying to replace them anytime soon. With your automotive prescription, I'm Ron Ananian, the Car Doctor. See you next time.
And good Wednesday morning to you. Wednesday, June 5th, right smack dab at the hour. It is 7:30 a.m. And good morning to you, Lake of the Pines. Currently 73 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today. Woo! It's going to be a warm one out there of 98 degrees. All right, it's that time of day. It's time for your daily dad jokes. That's right. Make you laugh, sigh. Probably, if I was a betting man, roll your eyes. The inbox is blowing up here. We got some dad jokes related to heat, and I gotta tell you, gang, they do not disappoint. Let's get right into it here. We've got one from Aaron K. On July 17th, 1902, Willis Carrier designed the first modern air conditioning system. He was such a cool guy. That was pretty good. Got one here. I like that one. Got one here from Linda. Why did the banana wear sunscreen at the beach? It refused to peel. I like bananas too. Oh, those are really good. Okay. Let me check the inbox here again. I think we got another one. Yeah, this from the inbox here from Karen L. Why don't mummies go on vacation? Because they're afraid to relax and unwind. Okay, I read that once and I didn't get it, but now I got it. It's producer Adam. It's about the unwinding. That's what it is. All right, all right. Let's keep it going here. Okay. Those are that's for the inbox. Also, today is National Donut Day. So if you're looking for a dessert idea, there we go. I told my doctor I ate too many donuts, and he said I have glazed over the problem. Oh, producer Adam did not like that one. Let's see. What do you call a donut that's always late? A delay. Delay. Get it? All right. These donuts are not hitting. Let's see. Let's see if we can get one here that's an actually good one. What do you call a donut that can do magic? A glazed wizard. All right. And those have been your daily dad jokes for the heat ones were funnier. Those are your daily dad jokes for this Wednesday, June 5th. Back with your weather right after this.
The state of Van Camp right now. Okay, that's enough now. Don't worry about Joe. Okay, he's cured of it. Okay.
All right, Timmy, you're almost up.
Oh my God! Way to do some kind of contest at the sound of Van Camp's phlegmy cough. Be the 10th caller. Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Good Wednesday morning. We have an excessive heat warning in effect for today and Thursday. It'll be mostly sunny, very hot. Temperatures approaching 100 degrees each afternoon. And a west-southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear, mild overnight in the low 70s with light winds. Not quite as hot on Friday, mostly sunny around 93, 94. And it'll be around 90 this weekend with sunshine. This is meteorologist Tim Rick from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the Morning, along with Matt Ray, America's First News. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle, plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes. Chris in the Morning with Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here at FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the Foothills. I never miss it. My goodness, it is early. 7:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have your KAHI news. Stay tuned. Off now to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
First News with Matt Ray on the TMA Radio Network.
Good Wednesday morning. America's First News.
Oh, good morning.
An independent group of experts
Doing a little bit better this morning, yeah. Sitting upright. A little rough yesterday.
Israel and Hamas and restrictions.
Hair looks a little wild, though.
Have impeded the data
Thanks for joining in.
Famine Early Warning Systems Network said it's possible if
Off now to edit the news. Back after this.
And Spike, the head of the World Food Program last month, said northern Gaza had entered full-blown famine after nearly 7 months of war. President Joe Biden will mark the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion this week as he tries to demonstrate steadfast support for European security at a time when some allies fear Republican Donald Trump threatens to upend American commitments if he wins another term in the White House. The trip comes as the deadliest fighting on the continent since World War II continues in Ukraine, and allied countries struggle to find ways to turn the tide against Russia, which has recently gained ground on the battlefield. It is also set against deepening cracks between the U.S. and many European allies over how to manage the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. And the first heat wave of the season has arrived earlier than usual across much of the Southwest, with dangerously hot conditions that produced triple-digit temperatures on Tuesday. By today, much of an area stretching from southwest California to central Arizona will see easily their hottest weather since last September, and record daily highs will be in jeopardy from Las Vegas to Phoenix, according to the National Weather Service. Excessive heat warnings were issued for Wednesday morning through Friday evening for parts of California, southern Nevada, and Arizona. Fire crews are on high alert, especially in Arizona, That's where restrictions went into effect before Memorial Day in some areas and will be ordered by Thursday across much of the western and south central parts of the state. A prosecutor is asking the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals to reverse the governor's pardon of a former Army sergeant who was convicted of fatally shooting a Black Lives Matter demonstrator. Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza said he's filing the request with the Court of Criminal Appeals, the state's highest criminal court, to review the pardon issued by Republican Governor Greg Abbott. Daniel Perry shot and killed Garrett Foster during a protest in July of 2020. Perry was convicted and sentenced to 25 years in prison in May of 2023, prompting immediate calls for a pardon from conservative figures. Abbott issued the pardon last month. Perry was quickly released from prison.
Almost 3 weeks ago, on May 16th, the Board of Pardon and Paroles and the governor put their politics over justice and made a mockery of our legal system. And for that, they should be ashamed of themselves. Today, the Travis County District Attorney's Office will file a writ of mandamus against the governor. We will be asking for the courts to intervene in order to restore the sanctity of the rule of law in this great state.
Garza was joined by Foster's mother, Sheila Foster, who called Abbott's pardon unacceptable.
We have justice for Garrett. For 18 hours, after waiting 3 years for a trial, we got justice for my son. It was planned, it was premeditated. And the very next day, the governor announced his plans to pardon, and now here we are, and he has done it. And I am not okay with this, and nobody should be okay with this. My own child was killed on American soil for doing nothing but practicing his First and Second Amendment rights. And our governor just said that's okay.
Perry, a white rideshare driver, claimed he was trying to drive past the crowd and fired his pistol when Foster pointed a rifle at him. Witnesses said Foster, an Air Force veteran, never raised his gun. Prosecutors argue that Perry could have driven away without shooting. Last month, 14 Democrat attorneys general said the U.S. Justice Department should investigate whether Perry denied Foster his right to free speech and peaceful protest. The federal probe could open Perry 2 federal charges. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who claimed a victory for his alliance in an election seen as a referendum on his decade in power, is a popular but polarizing figure who has presided over a fast-growing economy while advancing Hindu nationalism. The 73-year-old is only the second Indian Prime Minister to win a third straight term. His Hindu nationalist party failed to secure a majority on its own, as it did in 2014 and 2019, after facing a stronger-than-expected challenge from the opposition. But together with other parties in his National Democratic Alliance, his bloc won enough seats for a slim parliamentary majority and to form his third consecutive government. For the Amazon Labor Union, a grassroots labor group that won a major victory at an Amazon warehouse 2 years ago, has agreed to affiliate with the Teamsters Union, a move that's bound to inject new energy into the struggling organization. Amazon's labor union president Chris Smalls wrote a post on X saying our message is clear. We want a contract and we want it now. Referring to the union contract, this organization still hasn't been able to secure more than 2 years after becoming the only one ever to pull off a labor win at an Amazon warehouse in the U.S. Since then, the ALU has faced many other challenges, including 2 election losses at other Amazon warehouses and internal strife about its organizing strategy. Turning to sports this morning and on the diamond, Pete Alonso hit a 440-foot homer. Harrison Bader launched a 2-run shot, and the New York Mets beat the Washington Nationals 6-3 Tuesday night. Alonso went deep in the ninth inning off Nationals closer Kyle Finnegan, who came in with the Nats trailing 5-2.
That's driven deep to left by Alonso, and that is way gone. What a shot from Pete Alonso to put the icing on in the ninth. Hit it 112 miles an hour. It went 446 feet.
The call on this and why. In 81 career games against the Nationals, Alonso has 26 homers, 14 of them at Nationals Park, the most by any opposing player over the past 5 years. And Frankie Montas took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Ellie De La Cruz hit a 448-foot homer, and the Cincinnati Reds beat the Colorado Rockies 4-1.
And it's driven to straightaway center. Going way back into the shrubbery. De La Cruz straight away. His team leading 10th. And it's 2-0.
They call on Valley Sports. Elias Diaz broke up Montes' no-hit bid with a double to center field to open the 7th, but Montes retired the next 3 batters to conclude his outing and win for the first time since April 3rd. On the hardwood, Brianna Stewart scored a season-high 33 points and grabbed 14 boards.
All right.
New York Liberty to an 88-75 win Tuesday night over the Chicago Sky, who lost rookie Angel Reese to an ejection in the fourth quarter. She was tossed out with 2:31 remaining after getting 2 technicals following a brief interaction with an official that left Sky players and coach Teresa Weatherspoon looking for answers.
She got 2 tags. She told us something to the ref, and so whatever he felt like was the correct call is what he made. It's more about composure for us in our young years in the WNBA. So, they get to know refs and how they respond to things.
What was your view of the technicals, I guess, and the injection? Did anybody tell you what the reasoning for it was?
I tried to get an explanation. I did not. I don't know to this moment what has happened.
Rookie Kennedy Carter scored 16 points. Reese had 13 points to go along with 10 rebounds for Chicago. Sabrina Ionescu had 24 points for the Liberty, who won their first race. Novak Djokovic pulled out of the French Open with an injured knee Tuesday and abruptly
Novak Djokovic
and to his career. Djokovic, who revealed he's been struggling with knee problems, tore his meniscus in his right knee in a more than 4-hour match on Monday. With Djokovic, the owner of 3 French Open titles, gone from the bracket, and Rafael Nadal, owner of a record 14, eliminated in the first round, he will be holding the French Open men's trophy for the first time on Sunday, and the field includes Italian Yannick Sinner, who now becomes the
Okay.
You will become the first Italian favorite.
All right, what are we talking about? We're going to talk about Bluegrass Festival. The California Bluegrass Association prevents the Father's Day Bluegrass Festival. Presents the 49th annual Bluegrass Festival. This is going to be June 13th through the 16th.
Here, I think it's for everyone disappointing. So I wish him a speedy recovery. I try to not think so much about this because this is I usually struggle a lot, especially.
It's going to be at the Nevada County Fairgrounds in Grass Valley. You can find out more at fathersdayfestival.com, fathersdayfestival.com. It's going to be free music workshops, square dance, youth programs, 24/7 jamming. It's going to, you can camp out there. Stages of music, camping among the pines, extensive youth programs, free workshops, free square dancing.
We are just getting started on this Wednesday morning. You can always reach out to me anytime across the board on social media at Matt Ray Talk. More on the way on this last day of June. You've got America's First News.
Breaking news first. America's First News. Coast to coast.
Support. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting. If you prefer freedom,
All right.
then learn how to
20 seconds, Adam.
local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free support your local police info. Dial 800-JBS USA. That's 800-JBS USA. Request your free support your local police info by calling 800-JBS USA 1 today.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is Wednesday, June 5th. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Nevada City. Currently, it is 73 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 94 degrees. Speaking of that area of the country, let's talk a little bit about the 49th annual Father's Day Bluegrass Festival. That's going to be coming up June 13th through the 16th. That is going to be at the Nevada County Fairgrounds in Grass Valley. You can find out more at fathersdayfestival.com. It's the 49th annual Father's Day Bluegrass Festival. It's June 13th through the 16th. This isn't just like just pop in and pop out. Check this out. There is going to be 3 stages of music. There's going to be camping amongst the pine trees there, extensive youth programs, free workshops, square dancing, free square dances, food, crafts, beverages, best jamming west of the Rockies is what they say. Family fun. Again, that's going to be at 11228 McCourtney Road in Grass Valley. I don't know where that came from. Dr. Mitch, Grass Valley. In Grass Valley. I don't know what's going on there. It's the Nevada County Fairgrounds. Now, price is $25 to $235. So that varies. I'm guessing if you're going to be there for one day, if you're going to be there for all the days, if you're going to be camping, if you're not going to be camping. You can find out more at FathersDayFestival.com. Again, that's FathersDayFestival.com. It's the 49th annual Bluegrass Festival, Father's Day Bluegrass Festival at the Nevada County Fairgrounds, June 13th through the 16th. Again, find out more at FathersDayFestival.com. Back with more after this.
Here, 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, Home Furnishing on Folsom Boulevard, Rancho Cordova. Right here, the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world
at KAHI.com. And here's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, June 5th. I'm Chris Quant. Dashcam video shows head-on bus crash in Placer County. This is from Fox 40 News. On Tuesday, the Auburn Police Department released dashboard camera footage of a crash between a Placer County transit bus and a Honda Accord on May 29th that shut down Highway 49 for several hours. The crash occurred around 6:12 p.m. when a Honda Accord crashed head-on into the Placer County transit bus that had only the driver and one passenger aboard. The video shows the moment the Honda appears to move from the middle turn lane into oncoming traffic and crashes into the driver's side of the bus, causing the bus to flip onto its passenger side in the middle of the roadway. Both drivers and the bus passenger were taken to Sutter Roseville for varying degrees of injuries. The driver of the Honda was found to show signs of intoxication at the time of the crash, police said. Quote, consequently, formal charges of suspicion of DUI with injury are being filed with the district attorney, unquote, the Auburn Police Department wrote. Quote, this incident is a stark reminder of the dangers of drinking and driving, unquote. Mineshaft rescue ends with happy reunion. This is from the Mountain Democrat. Local firefighters saved the life of a wayward pet dog who had become trapped in an abandoned mine shaft last Tuesday night, according to the information shared by the El Dorado County Fire Protection District. Thursday evening, the pooch wandered into an abandoned mine shaft near Broadway in Placerville and then fell 60 feet down a narrow borehole that contained water at the bottom. Firefighters from the EDC FPD and Diamond Springs El Dorado Fire Protection District responded to the call around 7:21 p.m. and prepared to aid the tight squeeze rescue effort. One rescuer was lowered down the borehole using rope systems during the confined space entry. The rescuer secured the dog, which was brought back to the surface with no issues in a process that took close to an hour and 15 minutes to complete. The dog, who had surprisingly sustained only minor injuries, according to an EDCFPD Facebook post, was happily reunited with its owner. Confined space entry rescue technicians are required to have specialized training to conduct their operations, reviewing their skills and information regularly. Confined space rescues require a permit to be conducted, which needs at least 4 trained persons to be approved. Back with more news after this.
2023 for many people, and especially small businesses, was a year to put in your rear view mirror. For Homer Insurance, it was a time to build relationships, and right now to say thank you for the many businesses that put their trust and faith in our agency. At Homer, we strive to be the very best of what we do, and that means saving you money by working with the brightest and best insurance companies in America. Please, if you haven't called us yet, call today and let us show you why we make a difference every day to small businesses all over the foothills. Bonds, general liability, workman's comp, auto, home, and life. Give us just a few minutes and see the thousands you can save. Call 916-339-7070 and take a walk back in time. We actually answer every call live. That number again is 916-339-7070. Tune in to the KAHI Corral every Saturday at 7 a.m. here on the Voice of the Foothills.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Every centimeter of toe growth past what should be is 110 pounds of muscular bone of extra weight. So my legs ache right now. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's scary. Because navicular, you're done.
Consumer Kristen Cobbs filed a class action suit against trendy soda company Poppy. The suit alleges that the brand can't possibly deliver on its positive gut health claims given its ingredients, so the soda's marketing is deceptive.
Everything from pets in the studio. Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
The lawsuit filed on behalf of Poppy drinkers last week claims the soda only contains about 2 grams of prebiotic agave inulin fiber, and that consumers
AM 950 and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
Continuing now with your KAHI news from the Morning Brew. A recent lawsuit alleges that your favorite 3 p.m. beverage is making promises it can't keep. Consumer Kristen Cobbs filed a class action suit against trendy soda company Poppy. The suit alleges the brand can't possibly deliver on its positive gut health claims given its ingredients, so the soda's marketing is deceptive. The lawsuit filed on behalf of Poppy drinkers last week claims the soda only contains about 2 grams of prebiotic agave inulin fiber, and that consumers would need to drink at least 4 cans a day to see any gut benefit. It also states that if you chugged that much Poppy, the sugar content would offset any health gains. Poppy called the suit "quote unquote" baseless. Looking at the big picture, the functional drink market featuring liquid treats that claim to help boost and clear some part of your body now makes up 10% of all non-alcoholic drink sales in the U.S. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. President Biden signed an executive order restricting asylum claims based on the number of migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. The ACLU plans to sue. Sean Diddy Combs sold his majority stake in Revolt, the media company he founded, as he faces lawsuits accusing him of sexual assault. Max is the latest streaming service to get more expensive. Warner Brothers announced it's raising prices on what used to be HBO Max about 2 weeks before the second season of House of the Dragon begins. And Instagram is testing ads you can't skip in case you need a reason to stop scrolling and feeling bad that you're not the one on vacation. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is miscreant, meaning criminal or villainous. And that's your KAHI news for this Wednesday, June 5th. I'm Chris Quant. Back with more after this.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning along with Matt Ray and America's First News. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle.
Plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes.
Chris in the morning, Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
I never miss it, and neither should you.
Classic Farm Supplies, Big Red Barn on Highway 80 in Newcastle. With the new year, it's time to spray the weeds, lay down the fertilizer, and soon will get you started. Private critters have it too, from livestock and poultry to cat and dog. We can feed them all. Classic Farm Supplies, Big Red Barn on Highway 80 in Newcastle. Come see us for all your critter and farming and ranching needs.
In the heating and air conditioning business, the state of
What surprise.
has millions of regulations. But surprisingly, almost nothing when it comes to the technical knowledge required of a heating and air technician.
That means they can send a salesman to your home that looks like a true technician but knows next to nothing from servicing your heating and air system. His only focus is to sell you a new one. That'll never happen with Big Mountain's 2-for-1 rejuvenation of your heating and air system. With our 2 to 3 hour truly comprehensive 2-part service of both your furnace and your air conditioner with a written guarantee against breakdown, or the service will be free all year long. Total cost $78 or save $2,500 on a brand new heating and air system plus an additional $500 rebate. Replace your old R22 system. Features at 916-378-6270 or BigMountainAir.com.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks open higher. NVIDIA is in record territory. Wall Street is looking at another suggestion the economy is slowing, which could support the Federal Reserve lowering interest rates this year. Payroll processing company ADP reported the smallest job growth by private employers this year. In May, there were 152,000 new positions, which was weaker than April. Deere and Company plans to reduce its production and salaried workforce. It didn't reveal how many jobs will be cut. Dollar Tree is looking at options for its Family Dollar chain, which it purchased in 2015. Dollar Tree shares opened down 1%. Campbell's quarter was upbeat, helped by its purchase of Sovos Brands, parent company of Rayo's Sauces, but Campbell's shares opened lower. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jennifer Silva. Investing.
I still see you shadows in my room. Can't take my. That's my son Jared, but the world knew him as recording artist Juice WRLD. He released four
How did I
studio
finish so
albums,
far
9
ahead?
EPs, 2 mixtapes, 35 singles, and is one of the most streamed artists ever. What the world didn't fully understand was the depth of his struggle with addiction and mental health. At the height of his fame, he lost him to an accidental drug overdose. I'm Carmela Wallace. I started Live Free 999 to remove the stigma and normalize conversations around mental health and substance abuse. I want to ensure that no other parent or loved one faces what I faced.
Go to livefree999.com to find resources and learn. If you or someone you know need urgent support, text LF999-741-741.
Hi, this is Jimmy J. Let's get together this Saturday night at 8 p.m. for the Rewind Show on KAHI, the first station in the world to ever broadcast this show. And thanks to you, boy, have we grown. If you haven't already, be sure to tune in to find out what the rest of the world is talking about. The stars you grew up with are always on Rewind. Saturday night, 8 p.m., right here on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950 KAHI.
Here's one of our local advertisers to tell you why he loves KAHI Radio.
I'm Fred Penny, managing partner at Penny Associates, injury lawyers. Our law offices are located throughout California, and we have the opportunity to advertise across the state. We chose to advertise with KAHI. Among our other locations, we see the advantage of reaching those who matter most, the local customers, through local radio on KAHI, the voice of the Foothills.
Walking into the village the first time after the shooting was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Robert Palmer, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are
A ship captain invented the holes in a donut. I don't know. It's a funny story. It is a funny story. Hanson Gregory, on one of his voyages. 20 seconds to the top of the hour. Coming up in our next hour, we've got a lot more fun. Pausing now for station identification. Back after this. We've got a lot more fun. I don't know. I don't have anything to promo. And good Wednesday morning to you. It is Wednesday, June 5th, right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 8 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the Foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down in a beautiful Studio A. Speaking of Studio A, love being here on the ground floor, right at the street level, looking out into downtown Auburn here in the beautiful historic State Theater. And just throughout these seasons, watching folks walk by in the morning, passing by, walking themselves, walking the dogs, basically being out and about, and watching the seasonal wear is definitely changing. Today is a big indicator of that. Shorts and short sleeves and a lot of tank tops out there, even this early in the morning. Gang, it is going to be It's going to be a warm one out there, warmer than we've had for a while. So get ready. Hydrate, people. Hydrate. Get your water. Get your juice. Get your whatever you need to stay hydrated throughout the day today and through the next couple of days. Well, it's a good idea to stay hydrated every day. But especially these next couple of days, since we're not used to this warm weather, make sure that we're used to it, but we haven't had it in a while. So we're getting used to it again. Anyway, Producer Adam, you know what I mean. So get ready for a warmer weather. We'll check in with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit. He'll give us the official forecast here coming up. But as we're getting started on this day, looking at some interesting facts for the day. On this day, let me get to the right page here. In 1851, Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin began publication. In 1967, the Six-Day War began between Israel and its neighboring countries. It was June 5th through the 11th. In 1981, the AIDS virus was first noted. And today is World Environment Day. It's also Gingerbread Day, which I feel like that day is misplaced. That doesn't seem like that's a day that's something we should be celebrating going into summer. I don't know if they have their facts right on that one. It's Hot Air Balloon Day. That does make sense. That hot air balloons. Isn't it always something? If you've ever seen a hot air balloon in person in real life now, they have it up in Reno. I believe it's in September. You can go and watch the hot air balloons go up. We did that one time. It is absolutely magical. If you've never seen a hot air balloon in person, you should. Even seeing them floating in the air from a distance. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just our fascination from kids with a balloon. And even as adults, and when we're big kids and the big balloons, it is absolutely so cool to see in the colors. Maybe it's all the colors. It's very cool. You're also like, how do those things are up there, but they're not making any noise. It's amazing. And today is also Donut Day. So here's some interesting things about donuts. In case you didn't know, Americans consume over 10 billion donuts every year. I believe that. It turns out that it's no secret that donuts are the most delicious indulgence, at least in the USA. An average American eats at least 63 donuts every year. Oh, is that true? I mean, this is on the internet, so of course it's true, but I kind of feel like that tracks. Donuts have been declared the hit food of the century during the 1933 Chicago Fair celebrations. Donuts were given the title the hit food of the century of progress. Donuts were recently brought into fame thanks to the inception of the donut making machine. That was back in the 1930s. Now, is this true? We're going to have to double check this. A ship captain invented the holes in donuts. It's a funny story. Hanson Gregory, on one of his voyages, brought homemade donuts to feed himself and his crew. Donuts were then known as fried dough pastries and didn't have any holes. One day, while Gregory was handling the ship, he put a few fried dough pastries through the spokes of the steering wheel, and thus donut holes came into existence. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Producer Adam, look that up. See if that's true. I'll kind of take that one with a question mark. All right. But what's not a question right now, if it's true, is what our weather's going to look like today. And for that, we turn it over to meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking out there?
Wednesday morning, we have an excessive heat warning in effect for today and Thursday. It will be mostly sunny, very hot. Temperatures approaching 100 degrees each afternoon. And a west-southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear, mild overnight in the low 70s with light winds. Not quite as hot on Friday, mostly sunny around 93, 94. It'll be around 90 this weekend with sunshine. This is meteorologist Tim Rick from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the Morning along with Matt Ray in America's First News. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle.
Plus a healthy dose of daily bad jokes. Chris in the Morning.
6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the place.
I never miss it, and neither should you. Thank goodness, not quite as early, but thank you, Producer Adam, for that. Hey, 5 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:05 a.m. If it's your birthday today, you share it with one Kenny G. Yeah, you know, the saxophonist there, the guy that played the skinny saxophone. Born on this day in 1956. So if it's your birthday, take some time. Just chill out. Just put on some Kenny G. don't know. Why do we? I feel like this song was called Songbird, which in my opinion was one of the most overplayed songs ever. But congratulations, Kenny G. You did very well for yourself. And happy birthday to you. Also, Mark Wahlberg, American actor, a.k.a. rapper when he was Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, born on this day in 1971. But if it's your birthday, celebrate you today. And off now, we go to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
President Joe Biden says he's restricting asylum to help gain control of the U.S.-Mexico border. In the proclamation Tuesday,
Oh!
the White House looks to neutralize immigration as a
Dang it, I was going to keep it here.
Elections. But it's unclear whether his efforts will be able to change the minds of voters.
All right, getting used to new things. I was going to talk about pineapple on pizza. The issues that people really want to talk about. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Secure our border.
Oh, well.
4 months ago,
let's go edit the news now.
Intense negotiation. We came to a clear bipartisan deal. It was the strongest border security agreement in decades. But then, Republicans in Congress, not all of them, walked away from it. Why? Because Donald Trump told them to. Today, a bipartisan group of governors, members of Congress, mayors, law enforcement officials, most of whom live and work along the southern border. They know the border is not a political issue to be weaponized. Responsibility we have to share to do something about it. They don't have time for the games played in Washington, and neither do the American people. So today, I'm moving past Republican obstruction and using the executive authorities available to me as president.
The measure goes into effect immediately because the new policy is triggered when arrests for illegal entry reach 2,500. About 4,000 already are entering the U.S. each day. Biden has shifted far to the right on immigration since his winning campaign 4 years ago when he criticized former President Trump's immigration priorities and promised he would restore asylum protections. Democratic Representative Nanette Diaz-Barragan is chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. She told CBS News the executive order will result in innocent people being turned away.
So that they don't have the right to apply for asylum when they hit certain numbers. It's 2,500. If you take a look at when the last time the number was below 2,500, it's been a very long time. And if you implemented this at the beginning of the Biden presidency, you would have had that border effectively shut down for the purposes of asylum almost all but a month or two. And this is America. In the U.S., we have a legal right to apply for asylum. Look, we all agree that the border and the immigration system is broken and that we need to make reforms. But Republicans don't want to do that. And they don't want to invest any money. They don't want to work on policy together. And so, we heard from the president that he felt he had to take executive action. The Hispanic Caucus believes that there are better ways to do this and that there should also be positives that are paired because the American people want positives. They want to make sure things like protections for immigrants that have been here for a long time.
Biden's announcement laid bare lasting divisions among Democrats, with some left-leaning lawmakers and immigration advocates that form a key part of his coalition criticizing his actions as a return to the measures that marked Trump's tenure. Now, the Republican-controlled Arizona legislature gave final approval Tuesday to a proposal asking voters to make it a state crime for non-citizens to enter the state through Mexico at any location other than a port of entry, sending the measure to the November 5th ballot. The vote came the same day President Joe Biden unveiled his plans. Arizona's proposal, approved on a 31-29 vote from the State House, would allow state and local police to arrest people crossing the border without authorization. Donald Trump's attorneys are asking a New York judge to lift the gag order that barred the former president from commenting about witnesses, jurors, and others tied to the criminal case that led to his conviction for falsifying records to cover up a potential sex scandal. In a letter Tuesday, his attorneys asked Judge Juan Merchan to end the gag order, arguing there's nothing to justify what they call continued restrictions on the First Amendment rights of Trump now that the trial's over. Among other reasons, the attorney said Trump is entitled to unrestrained campaign advocacy in light of President Joe Biden's public comments about the verdict last Friday and continued public criticism of him by his ex-lawyer Michael Cohen, porn actor Stormy Daniels, both key prosecution witnesses. Wisconsin's Attorney General filed felony forgery charges against the two attorneys and an aide who helped submit false paperwork saying that former President Donald Trump had won the battleground state in 2020. The charges stem from the fake elector scheme. They're the first to come in Wisconsin and follow separate charges brought in Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, and Georgia. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kahl did not rule out filing more charges, including against the 10 fake electors, saying the investigation is ongoing.
This morning, we filed a criminal complaint in Dane County Circuit Court charging 3 defendants in connection with an alleged conspiracy to have electors who were not duly appointed presidential electors meet and cast votes in Wisconsin in December 2020 and transmit a so-called certificate of the votes of the 2020 electors from Wisconsin that in part referred to these electors as the duly elected and qualified electors for president and vice president of the United States of America from the state of Wisconsin, and reflected the votes of these unappointed electors for president and vice president. Specifically, the complaint charges Kenneth J. Chesborough, Michael A. Roman, and James R. Trupus with conspiring to commit the crime of uttering as genuine a forged writing or object in violation of Wisconsin statutes.
The fake elector efforts are central to an August federal indictment filed against Trump, alleging he tried to overturn the results of his election loss. Federal prosecutors investigating his conduct related to the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot have also said the scheme originated in Wisconsin. Trump also faces charges in Georgia and has denied any wrongdoing. Federal prosecutors in Hunter Biden's gun trial have spent hours showing jurors evidence of his drug problem, seeking to reveal through his own words in writing the depth of his addiction in order to show it was still ongoing when he bought a firearm, and they say lied on a form to purchase it. Testimony is expected to continue today. Hunter Biden's ex-wife Kathleen Buell is expected to be among the witnesses. She was married to President Joe Biden's son for roughly 20 years. They have 3 children, divorcing in 2016 after his infidelity and drug abuse became too much to overcome. That's according to her memoir entitled If We Break, about the dissolution of their marriage. More on the way on this Wednesday morning. We're just getting started. Grab the coffee. Let's go. You've got AMN.
At Hotshot Secret, we listen to our customers. Everyday Diesel Treatment delivers a 6-in-1 premium fuel treatment for every fill-up, every time. Our fans call it EDT.
I'm Nathan from Ellisville, Mississippi, and I drive a 2017 Ford F-350 house truck. I've been using Hotshot Secret EDT every tank for almost 3 years, and I've seen about 1.5 to 2 miles per gallon increase in fuel mileage.
Everyday Diesel Treatment is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, online at HotShotSecret.com.
30 seconds, Adam!
Omari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
And a good Wednesday morning to you. Wednesday, June 5th, 14 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:14 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Placerville. Currently 77 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today of 97 degrees. All right, let's turn it over now, as we do, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report. Stocks open higher. NVIDIA is in record territory. Wall Street is looking at another suggestion the economy is slowing, which could support the Federal Reserve lowering interest rates this year. Payroll processing company ADP reported the smallest job growth by private employers this year. Kenny G. How many jobs will be cut? Dollar Tree is looking at options for its Family Dollar chain, which it purchased in 2015. Dollar Tree shares are 9%. Campbell's quarter was up.
Ooh, busy out there. Accident, 2 left lanes blocked. I-80 westbound at Antelope. For those of you heading downtown.
I think we can all agree. Over the last few years, things have gotten weird.
And for our kids, these things can be overwhelmingly stressful and can increase the risk for mental health problems as they grow.
Scientific research and real-life experience
tell us that the number one antidote to stress is authentic, trusted relationships.
So that's why
That's why we
That's why I am committed to building and maintaining a trusted space.
For the students I influence every single day until the entire Golden State can proudly call ourselves a trusted space. This is a trusted space.
This is a trusted space. This is a trusted space. This is a trusted space.
This is a trusted space.
Find free resources for student and educator wellness at calhopeschools.org.
Hope lives here in California.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:16 a.m. Taking a look outside at traffic. Looks like we have an accident. 2 left lanes blocked. That's I-80 westbound at Antelope Road. So if you're heading down to Sacramento today, that looks like it is backing all the way up to Highway 65 there in Roseville. Slowing down on the other side of the freeway around Greenback Lane as well. So if you're going down that way, just make sure you give yourself a little bit of extra time, especially if you're heading out to the airport this morning. Give yourself some time as you're going out there. 80 westbound over to I-5 looking clear right now. I-5 slowing down around Airport Boulevard, and I-5 southbound coming in. That is slow as well. 50 westbound coming into Sacramento. We've got an accident. The left lane block. That's 50 westbound at Watt Avenue. So if you're coming down from Placerville into Sacramento there, slowing down there. 50 all the way up to the mountains, though, looking good. Slow down eastbound or westbound if you're going out of South Lake Tahoe there. 80 eastbound and westbound going up the hill, looking good as well. Slowing down around Donner Pass up around there. But other than that, looking good. Highway 49 going across the canyon, either going to Placerville or coming to Auburn one way or the other. Looking good right now. No traffic restrictions reported at this time. Back with more right after this.
Every Wednesday, and everyone can save on hundreds of products throughout the store every day. Check out these June specials. All Country Life products now 25% off. All Life Extension products 30% off. All Now products 30% off. And you can pick up Dr. McCullough's vitamins C and D at 25% off. Visit us today in Auburn and in Roseville. And always sunrisenaturalfoods.net. Hello, KAHI listeners. This is Ann Hidalgo, your host of Time for Seniors. You might be used to hearing us at 6 a.m. on Saturdays, but we moved to 12 noon. The Time for Seniors is your local senior resource show bringing all the important information concerning seniors. We talk health, financials, medical, keep you updated on current scams, hear inspirational stories, and laugh at ourselves a little. So tune in Saturdays at noon on FM 104.5 and AM 950. KAHI, the voice of the faith.
This is Stephen here. Catchments of space.
Catchments of space. Sunday nights at 8.
50. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
I think I'm hearing something in here. 18 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:18 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, sports ball. Yeah, we'll keep you updated on all the scores. Also, local sports as well. The Auburn Journal's athletes that excelled in multiple sports. We'll check all of that out. Back now to America's First News, and I'll see you back here at the bottom of the hour.
What he describes as unprecedented attacks on the Justice Department, telling Republican members of the House Judiciary Committee Tuesday sought to hold him in contempt, he won't be intimidated. Garland called out the political conspiracy theory the Department of Justice is behind every single one of Donald Trump's legal problems.
Certain members of this committee and the Oversight Committee are seeking contempt as a means of obtaining for no legitimate purpose. Certain members of this committee and the Oversight Committee are seeking contempt as a means of obtaining for no legitimate purpose sensitive law enforcement information that could harm the integrity of future investigations. This effort is only the most recent in a long line of attacks on the Justice Department's work. It comes alongside threats to defund particular department investigations, most recently the special counsel's prosecution of the former president. It comes alongside false claims that a jury verdict in a state trial brought by a local district attorney was somehow controlled by the Justice Department. That conspiracy theory is an attack
on the judicial process itself. It comes as baseless and extremely dangerous falsehoods are being spread about the FBI's law enforcement operations. These attacks have not, and they will not, influence our decision-making. I will not be intimidated, and the Justice Department will not be intimidated.
Republicans used the House Judiciary Committee hearing to push the claim that Biden has weaponized the department to go after Trump, even as the Democratic president's son Hunter stands trial on federal firearms charges in Delaware. Garland threw cold water on Trump's lie that the Biden administration tried to kill him during the search of his residence for stolen documents.
This is dangerous. It raises threats of violence against prosecutors and career agents. The allegation is false. As the FBI has explained, the document that's being discussed is our standard use of force protocol, which is a limitation on the use of force, and which is routinely part of the package for search warrants and was part of the package for the search of President Biden's home as well.
His appearance came as Republicans had moved to hold him in contempt for the Biden administration's refusal to hand over audio of President Biden's interview with special counsel Robert Hur, who's focused on the president's handling of classified documents. The White House has said that the Republican lawmakers only want the audio so they can chop it up and use it for political gain. Republicans, meanwhile, have accused Biden of trying to suppress the audio because he does not want the public to hear it before the election. A transcript of his interview has been made public. Student editors at the Columbia Law Review say they were pressured by the journal's board of directors to stop publication of an academic article written by a Palestinian human rights attorney that accuses Israel of committing genocide in Gaza and upholding an apartheid regime. When the editors refused the request and published the piece Monday morning, the board, made up of faculty and alumni from Columbia University's law school, shut down the Law Review's website entirely. It remained offline Tuesday evening in a static homepage, informing visitors the domain's under maintenance. The episode at one of the country's oldest and most prestigious legal journals marks the latest flashpoint in an ongoing debate about academic speech that has deeply divided students, staff, and college administrators since the beginning of the Israel-Hamas war. Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling Tuesday touted the nation's second largest police department is fully prepared to handle crowds of protesters expected during the Democratic National Convention, including new ways to handle possible mass arrests. The law enforcement agencies have been planning for more than a year for the August convention that's expected to draw an estimated 50,000 visitors and massive protests.
We want to make sure that our officers are prepared to police constitutionally and deal with large-scale protests. Their training is designed to help the officer understand that we need to de-escalate, be proactive, to prevent the possibility of violence and vandalism. We are also preparing for worst-case scenarios, just in case things go bad. If people show up and they want to act out violently, or they want to commit acts of vandalism, our mass arrest policy is in place just in case. But keep in mind, mass arrest is a last resort. If we don't have to arrest one person, we don't want to have to do that, if that's at all possible. But we know the realities of these types of situations, especially when the number of people we're expecting to converge upon Chicago is inevitable. That there is a possibility for vandalism, there is a possibility for violence, and we're prepared to deal with that.
More than 50 organizations plan to protest in Chicago, which has denied permits for demonstrations near the United Center's convention site. That sparked lawsuits and groups vowing to march whether or not they have permits. Chicago police generally received high marks for the handling of NATO protests in 2012, but they faced strong criticism for being unprepared in the aftermath of George Floyd's 2020 killing, and the civil unrest broke out nationwide. Last week, the city's Office of the Inspector General said the department has made progress, but it has work to do when it comes to large-scale events. As an interpreter, Ife Mizuhara was supposed to bridge the gap between baseball star Shohei Ohtani and his English-speaking teammates and fans as the duo traveled. Instead, Mizuhara exploited the Japanese English language barrier to isolate Ohtani and profit, in the truest sense, from his proximity to the two-way player's power. On Tuesday, the ex-interpreter pleaded guilty in federal court in Santa Ana, California, to bank and tax fraud for stealing nearly $17 million from the unsuspecting athlete's bank account. U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada said it wasn't just to cover gambling debts.
As we told all of you a couple months ago, this case was thoroughly investigated, thoroughly vetted, and we came to the conclusion, based on the evidence, that Mr. Mitsuhara had committed a massive fraud. And that fraud was committed against the one victim in this case, who is Shohei Ohtani. In fact, after we announced the charges, we only discovered more fraud in this case. We discovered Mr. Mitsuhara had victimized Mr. Ohtani to the extent that he wouldn't even pay for dental fees. He stole money from Mr. Ohtani to pay for his own dental expenses. The fraud was deep and the fraud was extensive. Well, now you see Mr. Mitsuhara has gone before a federal judge. He stated under oath that he was fully responsible for this fraud. He's accepted his responsibility. He's admitted to his guilt, and we will proceed to sentencing in this case and finally bring vindication to the victim, but also the larger community that demands we address these types of fraud cases aggressively and with justice in mind.
The case involved arguably the world's most famous baseball player and the sport's most valuable voice. Despite that, Estrada said Ohtani was vulnerable.
Because of this rampant fraud, my office has established something known as the Vulnerable Victims Task Force. That is tasked with looking at fraud against older adults, against immigrant groups. I will say Mr. Ohtani is an immigrant, came to this country, is not familiar with the ways of this country, and therefore was easily prey to someone who is more familiar with our financial systems. I was able to take advantage of Mr. Ohtani.
Tuesday's guilty plea was anticipated after Mizuhara agreed to a deal with the U.S. Attorney's Office last month. Sentencing is set for October. It came the same day Major League Baseball banned Padres infielder Tucupita Marcano for life for betting on the sport, and 4 others were suspended for 1 year in the game's biggest gambling scandal in decades. Major League Baseball said Marcano placed 387 bets totaling more than $150,000 with a legal sports book. The 24-year-old Venezuelan with 149 games of Major League experience became the first active player in a century, banned for life because of gambling. Oakland A's pitcher Michael Kelly was suspended for a year for betting on baseball, while in the minor leagues, 3 minor leaguers were also banned for a year for betting on big league games.
America's First News with Matt Ray.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton, like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020 for a free consultation. For 16 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Battling for years and years, stuck in the endless cycle of payments could take decades. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020. That's 800-878-6020. 800-878-6020.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is Wednesday, June 5th. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Auburn. Currently 78 degrees right now. Looking for a high today, just under the century mark, 99 degrees. Get your shorts out. It's hot weather out there, gang. All right, let's go over to sports now. Starting in the WNBA, we've got the Commissioner's Cup happening right now. We've got the Mystics versus the Sun. The Sun shone bright, and they are on top there, 76-59. Liberty versus the Sky. Liberty run free and go 88-75 in that game. Mercury versus the Storm. Storm brings the thunder. The Mercury doesn't rise. Storm on top there, 80-62. Heading over to the major leagues right now. Diamondbacks versus the Giants. Ooh, the Diamondbacks, they bit there, and they won 8-5 over the Giants. A's versus the Mariners. The Mariners sailed away with that one. They were on top there, 4-3. A's versus the Mariners again today. You can catch all of the action here on KAHI. Game time is at 6:40 p.m. Radio start time here on KAHI is at 6 p.m. tonight. That's a homestand. This is the second of 3 games. Mariners versus the A's. Again, radio start time today is at 6 p.m. Check it out. Padres versus the Angels, an all Southern California game. Angels fly away with that one, 4-2. Rockies versus the Reds. I don't have a pun for that one. Reds win that one, 4-1. Braves versus the Red Sox. Braves are the bravest and win that one 8-3. And the Royals versus the Guardians. Guardians guard their league on top there, 8-5. Going local here, Auburn Journal in my hot little hands. These athletes excelled in multiple sports this year. We're going to go over to Bear River High School. Luke Jeffers. It didn't matter what sport Jeffers was playing in. He did it physically. The Bear River Junior was an all-PVL first team selection in football and basketball. He had 31 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, and 4.5 sacks last season from his defensive end position. On the hardwood, he scored 287 points and grabbed 206 rebounds. My goodness gracious. Jeffers was also a standout in volleyball, leading the team in blocks with 46, and he was 3rd in kills with 170. So congratulations to Luke Jeffers being recognized for your accomplishments last year. Sports ball. Oh, that's a very talented sports individual. Back with your KAHI weather right after this. Talented sports individual.
Listen to us live.
All right.
Voice of the Foothills, every Saturday morning, 9
Why not?
Here on 104.5 and AM 950. You can also find us on KAHI.com and the KAHI app. Remember, that's Radio Law Talk live 9 to noon every Saturday, right here on KAHI.
Timmy, you're up.
AM and FM, the voice of the Foothills.
Good Wednesday morning. We have an excessive heat wave in effect for today and Thursday. It'll be mostly sunny, very hot. Temperatures approaching 100 degrees each afternoon. And a west-southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear, mild overnight in the low 70s with light winds. Not quite as hot on Friday, mostly sunny around 93, 94. And it'll be around 90 this weekend with sunshine. This is meteorologist Tim Rick from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:33 a.m. Hey, if it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. You share it with one Kenny G. Kenny G, born on this day in 1956. So, you know, the saxophone player. Hey, gang, that's going to do it for me. We're going to finish out this hour with America's First News and the O'Reilly Report until we see each other again tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to have 3 headlines and a lie. That's right. There's going to be 4 headlines. 3 of them are true. 1 of them is completely made up. We'll play that little game tomorrow. And until then, remember, as always, to be kind, be honest, be yourself. And remember, you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow. Back now to America's First News. All right. Happy birthday, Kenny G.
An independent group of experts warned Tuesday it is possible famine's underway in northern Gaza, but the war between Israel and Hamas and restrictions on humanitarian access needed the data collection to prove it. The Famine Early Warning Systems Network said it's possible, if not likely.
All right.
Concerns about deadly hunger have been high in recent months. And spycasters
that Kenny G song is going to be in my head all stinking day.
80th anniversary of the D-Day as he tries to demonstrate steadfast support for European security at a time when some allies do Republican Donald Trump commitments if he wins another term in the White House. The trip comes as the deadliest fighting on the continent since World War II continues in Ukraine, and allied countries struggle to find ways to turn the tide against Russia. It is also
okay, bye.
the U.S. and many European allies over how to manage